You'll never stop emotionally eating until you understand this. You will always be an emotional eater, but the trick is to not let the emotions dictate your actions. I am currently going through a hell of a battle right now with wanting to eat the whole house. I still struggle with emotional eating, even though I've lost over 100 pounds on my weight loss journey and I've made this transformation. But I promise you, there is hope, and the hope lies in your ability to create systems that will prevent you from emotionally eating. So instead of emotionally eating, I decided to put on the camera and talk to you guys. Well, that wasn't the first thing I did. The first thing I did was sort through my mental state. I went pen to paper. I started journaling. Writing by hand is the best way to recall information. It's the best way to retain information and to understand information. And this information was understanding myself. After journaling, I realized that I was having a lot of anxiety that was stemmed around fear. Fear about my financial situation. Fear that I'm not going to be able to do the things I want to do in life. Fear that I'm not going to be able to make it out on my own when I separate from my partner. Fear that I won't have enough food. I'm currently recovering from a car accident, so my insurance company is currently supplementing my income. And sometimes those checks come a little late, and then that gives me the whole anxiety about money. I've never used to have anxiety about money until I got into a relationship with my son's father, who has an abnormal obsession with money. And that is an addiction in itself. There are people out there that will do anything for the dollar, to the point that they'll sacrifice their health, to the point that they will be obese, to the point that they'll stay in a job that literally destroys their body or pushes them to their other addictions, such as drinking. And for me, I've never been about that life. I want a life of happiness. And emotional eating and clarifying it is literally finding what is triggering you in your environment. So the money thing was a major trigger, but after journaling, I realized that, hey, it's okay. And that, hey, I really don't want to eat because right now I am not physically hungry. I'm not. So instead of eating the whole house, after I film this video, I'm gonna go head to the gym and get in some physical activity. Movement is probably one of the best things you can do to help combat emotional eating, because then it gives you the opportunity to analyze that, hey, let me get this workout in, let me get the endorphins running, let me boost my mood so I'm in a better headspace to make an appropriate decision about the meal I'm going to eat. Emotional eating stems from a history of trauma. In my case, it's a history of childhood trauma. A lot of disorders and addictions stem from childhood trauma. And the goal is to reduce the stimuli around you that may increase those emotions, that may elevate those emotions, and to understand yourself as much as possible. So the way I'm currently dealing with combating emotional eating is getting to understand the brain, getting to understand the impacts of certain chemicals that influence the brain, like dopamine. Dopamine is the major chemical behind emotional eating and all sorts of addictions. So I'm gonna grab a book by Dr. Daniel Z. Lieberman, who's a psychiatrist at Washington University, titled The Molecule of More, and it talks about dopamine and how it impacts us when it comes to addictions and emotional eating. The best way to target emotional eating is to fill up that logical brain, that side of your brain that is separate from the emotions. So bombard yourself with content, read books, learn about the struggles with emotional eating, because that is going to give you the power, and that's going to increase that part of your brain, the logical mind, to defeat the lizard brain or the emotional mind. When you're at home, like me, currently I'm recovering from a car accident. I can't go back to work because I work as a new home construction plumber. Keep yourself busy. I'm keeping myself busy with YouTube. I'm going to the gym. I'm cleaning the house. For you, perhaps you can start a hobby. The best thing you can do is work with your hands. Make candles, make bath bombs. I know that's becoming a popular thing right now. Do things that you've always wanted to do but never had the opportunity to do it. For me, I'm thinking of making my own sports bras because I can never find anything to appropriately fit my body type. So keep yourself busy. That is number one. Now, if you're on the other side of that and you find yourself emotionally eating because you're busy, because you're overwhelmed, the best thing you can do is put yourself on a schedule. Eat during the same times a day. Another good tip with that is perhaps planning your meals ahead. If you fail to plan, you plan to fail. Keep yourself ahead of the emotions, because if you let the emotions get ahead of you, then they are going to drive you. I just want you guys to know that I have not beaten emotional eating. It's hard. It's really hard. But the more you work on it and the more you sit through those emotions, I promise the stronger you get. It is so uncomfortable for me right now. I've got like anxiety in my chest, but that feeling will pass. The mood is temporary. It is worth it. You are worth to sit through that pain and come through the other side without emotionally eating. We have two choices. Life is pain. Do you want the pain of success or the pain of regret? Hang in there, you know? It's so worth it for me to go through this pain, deal with the emotions I'm going through in my journal, than it is for me to succumb to binging and then dealing with the pain and the consequences after that. The consequences of discipline is strength. The consequences of quitting is disappointment, lower self-esteem, and the whole lot. Anyway, I just thought I would share this with you as I'm really struggling right now. And I really hope you learned something from this, that like you'll always battle emotional eating, but you don't have to let the battle win every time. You will get stronger. You just have to push through the hard, push through the moments, and I promise you it gets easier. I'm living proof of it. How the heck was I able to lose over 100 pounds being a binge eater, being an emotional eater? I'm living proof that you can do it, because if I can do it, anyone can do it, trust me. Anyway, I'm sending you guys mad love. If you made it this far into the video, just drop in 3-star emojis, because we are made out of magic. We are made out of stardust. Hang in there. Send you guys mad love.